to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you were being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer and you want to keep the conversation on the hobby side of things, be sure to ask your questions, whatever they might be. I realize that there are people who are brand new to this hobby as well as more experienced people. This is for everybody, so, feel free to ask your questions, whatever might occur to you. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Feel free. And, of course, I welcome any and all questions. If you're not able to watch this live stream, you can always submit your questions to Kris@waveofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to waveofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there, and it is pretty much just like this channel. It's random, and it's all sorts of stuff, but there are various channels for various topics, so feel free to, peruse and comment and what have yous. Have some fun. And basically, that's all it is. Have some. Only one rule in the Discord: don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule in the Discord: is don't be a dick. It's pretty broad, pretty wide open, and yeah. And so far, it's worked. So far. Also, at waveofthebrush.com, you'll find links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at waveofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be continue to do what it is that I do. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support, and all the brand new ones as well. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, blah, 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 blah. All that helps the channel as well. And all it takes a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. And so a huge thank you to everybody who takes the time to do that. Big thank you to Carl, Guymere Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl. It's a YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. And we always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles to play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. EB. Almost like EZ. EB. Or if you're into beefcakes, you can follow him on Instagram. He posts a lot of his post-workout stuff and his pre-workout meals. So feel free. The guy's getting jacked. I don't know what he's training for, but he's training. He's training for something. I don't know what. Couldn't tell you. But yeah. Who's joining us today? I can see Sophie. Afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all enjoying the good weather, and there is good weather where you are. Well, where I am, yeah, it's sunny. It's nice. It's not too humid. Got my in-laws visiting again. They live close enough that they can just drive over here and spend the day, but not so close that they're here every day. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying on that one. But yeah, hopefully everybody's enjoying some weather. I know quite a bit of craziness these days. I'm kind of surprised that in the UK you guys are having some nice weather. So that seems kind of against the stereotype. Matthias Bretter, Les Brushes, just came from Tour de France. Sorry for bad French. Les Brushes or Le Brushes? Ghost Starman Deluxe. Hello, Kris and Monkeys. I'm still working on putting the Heresy box together, but there's plenty of hobby goodness to be hyped about right now. Yes, there is. And tomorrow, as of July 10th, in the year 2022, we're getting another preview. We're doing another, summer skirmish preview. So it's basically a lot of the smaller games. I can't remember what it is now. It's like Necromunda, Blood Bowl, Warcry, Kill Team, something else. I think it was like 5 of the games. Anyway, it's the smaller games. It's not 40K, it's not Age of Sigmar. It's all the smaller stuff. So, yeah. Should be fun. I'm probably going to do a live stream as it is like 9 a.m. My time. So, which, you know, they on the article, they showed like roughly the times that everybody can kind of tune in. For some people, it's middle of the night. Others, it's early in the morning. For the UK, Europe, it's like end of the day, I think. It's like the end of the day, I think. Something like that. I can't remember. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious. And I noticed too, like, because a lot of the videos I've been creating these days are a lot more of the shorts. And it's really just more or less just commentary on the daily articles that are appearing on Warhammer Community. And this week, it did feel a little light. Like the previous weeks, we're always getting like previews of stuff. And this week felt a little light on, you know, showcasing of stuff. And it was more of like, you know, kind of auxiliary articles. Mind you, one of the biggest reveals yesterday, Friday, I'm sure many of you are like, yeah, I already know about it. Angron for Warhammer 40,000, the Demon Prince, Angron of the World Eaters. I shared my thoughts on it. I've shared my thoughts previously on Way the Brush and, you know, other things. What I was kind of hoping for, not expecting, because expecting kind of the wrong word to use in that instance, because you can't really expect it, because if you have no input, no creative input as far as how the thing is made or designed or how it looks or, you know, anything like that, then you really have no expectations of what to expect. I mean, you can have expectations based on your own biases, but otherwise, you know, that's it. And so when you see it and it doesn't meet your expectations, that's on you. And I shared the video yesterday because, I mean, like, I have opinions about it. And, you know, I had certain expectations. There's certain things I wanted to see, but that's on me. And so I realized that, you know, how the model looks is, you know, I'm sure all the people that made that model, it wasn't just one person. It was, you know, a whole team of people collaborating to come to that final, you know, look. And yeah, so it's a collaborative process. I'm sure it's not one person who just simply sketches it up, starts sculpting, and then, you know what I mean, start producing it. And then, you know what I mean, like, it's a whole team of people. It's a whole bunch of people. It's a collaborative effort. And so you're going to have various input from various sources. Various people are going to have very different ideas of what should be done. And you know what I mean? And that goes for all the models. And so I imagine, like, being part of that design team, like, that's got to be kind of chaotic in a sense that, you know, there's just so many people going, yeah, well, I think we should go this way. This would look really cool. Well, in the lore, we talked about this, and you know what I mean? And so you have, like, all this different ideas. And I think that's ultimately a good thing, I think, that there are so many people. Now, mind you, I think we all know my opinions on too many cooks in the kitchen as well. So, you know, again, it's a mixed bag. I have no idea what it's like. And, you know, yeah, so anyway. Sophie, speaking of creepy, had a creepy guy demanding my number on Instagram. Had to block him. Watch out, peeps. There's strange folk out there. Yeah, Sophie, I could have told you that one. I could have told you that. There's creepy. There's some real creep bags. And yeah, I mean, anytime, you know, anybody, regardless, is, you know, looking for your personal info, and, you know, yeah, you always got to watch out. It really doesn't, like, it doesn't matter if it's a creepy guy, creepy girl, whatever, right? Creepy people, you got to watch out for them. And you got to be really selective about the information that you put out there. Me personally, as somebody who has their mug all over the internet, you know, there's not much that isn't shared at this point, you know. So anybody who really wants to find out anything about me, yeah, it's not terribly difficult, I think, to find out whatever they want to find out. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to do it. I mean, you know, but I mean, there's not going to be anything interesting there. It's pretty boring. It's not like there's, you know, really wicked skeletons in the closet or anything like that. Not anything that I haven't talked about in the past. So, Scott Radom. Hey folks. Hey, Matthias. Oh, at the ghost. Hi everyone, hi Matthias. Ghost Starman, UK weather is indeed good at the moment. Some kind of witchcraft. I don't trust it. Is the thick haze that is persistent over the UK, did it miraculously part and you see this big glowing orb in the sky? The rest of the world knows that as the sun. The sun. It is this big glowing disc in the sky. And it's actually not a disc. It's actually a ball. It's a ball of fire millions of miles from Earth. Like what is it? 0.08 light years away from the sun that we are. So we're a good distance away from it, but we can still feel its massive amounts of energy hitting us. And when you step outside and the clouds part and that light is hitting you and you feel it and you think, oh my gosh, this is warm. Yeah, don't stand in it too long. Mainly because I know many of you in that region are not accustomed to so much sunlight that in fact you will just burn up like that. You'll just pop into flames like a vampire. So be careful, people. Be careful. In that part of the world that doesn't get much sunlight, yeah, you got to be careful. And, be smart, people. Be smart. Wear your sunscreen. Wear a sun hat. Because I know many of you are so fair-skinned that you're almost clear. And light will just pass right through like microwave energy. There is microwave energy in it, and it just passes right through you, and you'll burst into flames. So do be careful, people. Do be careful. That was your PSA for the day. Matthias, Angron is badass. Yeah, he's a really cool looking model. I had expectations that were, like just completely my own imagination, my own thoughts on what I would like to see from an Angron model. I shared them in the video, but yeah, he's cool. He's cool. And many World Eater players out there, I'm sure, are rejoicing at the arrival of Angron, the coming arrival of Angron. I don't expect to see that model till, obviously the fall. I would suspect somewhere around October, I think, is when we're going to start seeing, more talk about Codex World Eaters, Angron. And I think we're also expecting new Khorne Berserker kits as well. So, and people are speculating that the Khorne Berserkers you see in that one leaked photo, that those are the new Khorne kits, which look kind of cool. But again, it's kind of hard to say because they're all blurry and everything like that. So, that's my issue with these leaks. These leaks. Why, when we get these leaks, it is such shite quality of picture. In this digital age of high fidelity, 8K cameras and video cameras, why is the footage always so poor? I have thoughts. I have thoughts as to why the quality is always so poor. It is because the people who leak this information are not actual leakers. They're professional leakers. They're not like some guy who was on tour in the headquarters and was like, oh, look at this, and then click, you know what I mean? Or they came in and they had like the little camera in their lapel and it was hidden in a button, and you know what I mean? All James Bond, and they were coming in through the ceiling, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that kind of stuff. Like these things, professional leakers, they're getting supplied. And they release this stuff to generate the early phase of hype, because there are two kinds of like hype, right? It is rumors and then flat out talking about it and saying, yeah, here's what's coming. Great. And everybody's on, like, in that one, the one is very transparent. The other one, it's like, ooh, it's a secret. Ooh, you know what I mean? And it's kind of the hand in the cookie jar kind of thing. And, the whole leaks thing, yeah, as far as I've ever known, Games Workshop in these instances does not leak. Now, sure, there have been leaks and there's been, early released kind of previews of stuff, but ultimately, no. And I don't think any of those things have ever hurt the production schedule, the release schedule, or the amount of sales that were generated from that release. I don't think those things kind of hurt it. And so leaks are a really fun way of getting kind of early talk, and especially because leaks tend to just spread like wildfire. If you give a grainy image of whatever that is coming out soon, yeah, people lose their minds, and then everybody starts sharing it, talking, oh, look at this, oh, you can barely, is this what this is, you know what I mean? And people go nuts for that. Why? Because people like mysteries. And, you know, the writings and stuff like that should always be reflective of that as well. That, you know, people like mysteries because it gives people something to talk about. And yeah, but as far as, you know, somebody breaking into Games Workshop and, you know, or had the lapel camera, you know, whatever scenario you want to imagine, I don't think that's the case. Matthias, also brand new Predator kit for Horus Heresy. Yes, I seen that. And it had all the options. I had no idea what that crazy gun is with the like little canisters on it. And then after, you know, rereading the article, it was a graviton gun. I was like, oh, the graviton gun. Cool. We got the conversion beamer, and graviton guns, yeah, in Horus Heresy. So anybody who wants the old school discombobulation technologies, that's where you go, 30k. Or possibly League of Votan. League of Votan could also have access to those crazy-ass weapons as well. Because they're really kind of, you know, the bearers of the ancient knowledge, right? So, yeah, in 40k. Not in reality. At least I don't think so. Disco! I've sat in real product design sessions for manufactured goods. It's managed chaos. Oh, yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah. I'd imagine, because you also have, like, you have all these different people, right? Depending on how big the team is to come up with, you know, a design for something, right? You have all these different people. Hopefully they all have various backgrounds in whatever field, respective to the, you know, the product that you're going to create. And the hard part, really, when you're trying to manage all these people, it's everybody's egos. That's where the managing comes in. And I think that's where a project really relies on leadership to manage all of those egos, because creative types, especially ones who excel in their fields, tend to develop pretty large egos, right? So I'd imagine that's the hard part, is managing the egos. Matthias, when I stand in the sun too long, at first I look like a Legion of the Damned, and then like a Salamander Marine. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah. As soon as it hits you, you can see like your skeleton looks like, you know, Superman's looking right at you, kind of thing. You see all your veins, and, you know what I mean? Your eyelids are no longer there, and you're just kind of like big eyeballs just looking around, you know? Yeah. No, I get it. And then, yeah, you put on a nice little tan. Although, of course, you do have to watch out for a little thing called melanoma. And, yeah. Historically, your region of the planet doesn't get a lot of sun, and so the beings in that place have evolved to a point where, you know, they don't really rely on getting the sun too much. Yeah. Ghost of Starman. Yeah, I went outside for 3 seconds and the skin's gone all red. I'm normally a pretty pale geezer, so it's really weird. Going outside and you just turn red. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the sun's intense, and, you know, I mean, it's no joke. Like, it's just this massive amounts of energy just bombarding us. And imagine what our world would look like if our core of our world did not put out as strong a magnetic field as it does, right? Because whenever you look at the diagrams of Earth, the magnetic field is just gigantic. It's huge. And that just, you know, sends most of that solar energy away, right? And then whatever comes in makes it through, and it's more of that direct energy. But that's still enough to just, if you stand out too long, you'll just burn up. You'll die. You just stand outside on a hot, sunny day, you'll die. Stand out there long enough, you'll die. It's kind of amazing when you really think about it, you know? Like, if you really stop to contemplate that reality, that if I just stood outside, did nothing, absolutely nothing, didn't move, didn't drink water, didn't do anything, that sun standing out there for that long would kill you. Sophie, I put tons of sunblock on. I don't tan, just go red and blotchy and peel and almost hear my skin scream, Natural sunlight. Yeah, well, I'd imagine everybody in the UK. Yeah, I mean, like, I imagine it's like everybody's closing their blinds. You know, the sun is coming in. They're all, yeah, I'd imagine. Now, yes, I realize not everybody in the UK is of a particular skin value, but for everybody who's indigenous to their regions, who's has a long history of being there, yeah, you're gonna burn up. So basically, I'm talking to all the indigenous Europeans. Be careful, you're gonna burn up. Be careful, for God's sakes, be careful. The sun, it's dangerous. My God, there should be a law against it. Ghost of Starman. The leaked pictures are taken using jacket potato. Yeah. That GW's janitor had for lunch so they don't suspect anything. Yeah, it's like right in a potato. It's literally in a potato and they just click one of the little nubs. Like one of those little roots that come out, the little sprouts, and just click. Yeah. Again, why in this day and age are we so caught up in sharing these really crappy images in this day and age of HD, 8K video quality, picture quality, cameras? Like even 10-year-old cell phone cameras can produce a clearer image than what we get in those leaks. When everybody starts losing their minds about these leaked images. Like, why is that? Why? Right? Like, Nobody seems to ask these questions. Like, why is it that we're losing our minds over these really super grainy images? And it's even weird, like, on other social media platforms, because I've been doing, like, a lot of TikTok and stuff like that. And the TikToks with really huge views, they have crappy video quality, and it's become a meme. I realize I'm late to the party, kids. Yes, I know, because I'm old. But why is that the crappy older videos have such longevity? And you know what I mean? Like, why is that? Why somebody, please, any of you young kids out there who know about this kind of thing, who follow these social trends, and you know what I mean, let me know, because this old geezer is like, you know, I'm like, son, I don't understand, because even my son tells me about this, and my daughter, and I'm finally seeing it for myself. I understood when they told me, but I mean, I kind of saw the trend, but even more so nowadays that I'm like, you know, I'm putting stuff out there, and yeah, I'm seeing it, and it shows up in my feed. I'm like this, like, why is this like 500 million views for a crappy image? Now I realize that the video itself is hilarious, and that's why it gets shared. But why is it that it's always these crappy quality videos that are just shared all over the place? Why is that? Why? I'm asking why. Please, somebody tell me why. Scott Radom. I don't want to start any rumors, but I heard Miniac took those pictures and released them. He's gone full rogue. Complete heel turn on G-dubs. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, that dude, you know, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Nobody has to worry about Miniac. He's going to be fine. He'll probably eventually, a year or two from now, he'll gravitate back towards, you know, covering more Games Workshop product. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that, like, that's just, that whole thing, I don't know. Romu36, the leaks are controlled leaks straight from GW to make you and us do exactly what we're doing. Talk about it. Yeah, exactly, right? That's exactly it. And I've talked about this on the show many times, that yeah, Games Workshop doesn't leak. They don't leak, mainly because there's paperwork all over the place. Entering certain areas, and you know, so yeah. I mean, nobody really wants to, you know, break their agreements, so because they're just so darn fun, you know. But yeah, the leaks, as far as leaks are concerned. Now, the last time that we had like a major leak was, well, the one I can think of was like the when the 8th edition rulebook was leaked, which was only a couple pages, of course, but yeah, and there was all these, you know, talk of like the rules changes and how the game was changing, and people were just skies falling. And Why is that? That whenever we get into these kind of conversations, that people always gravitate towards the doom and gloom of stuff. Why is that? Why is it that bad news travels so fast? Rumors travel so fast, right? Why is it that it just spreads so quickly? And then once, counterpoints come out, it gets like no traction, right? And you see this in many things, not just our little sphere, but many spheres, all the spheres, really, that bad news can just cover the landscape so quickly, and yet something positive or informative, or, you know what I mean, like something substantial, and it gets like next to no traction. Why is that? What is it about human beings that, that's the reality of our world? Like, why? I'm always asking why. Some of you might be new around here going, why is this guy always saying why? Because I always ask a lot of whys. Because I want to know. The world is interesting. I'm merely an observer. Tirades. I remember when the Eldar Wraith Knight pics were leaked, the internet went crazy. It was a lot of fun, to be honest. Yeah, oh yeah. And like I said before, like it is a lot of fun. You get this little leaked image, and it's you know what I mean? It's like the crash at Roswell kind of stuff. And maybe that's part of it as well, right? Is this they're trying to keep this from us. Oh, look at this, and the brain just goes wild, and is that what it is? Because it's like we are in possession of secret knowledge. Is that really what it is? Our desire to have more knowledge, or to know the same thing as our supposed betters in the hierarchy of things, right? Like, is that what it is? I don't know. Is it merely a byproduct of this society? Matthias, the leaks must have low picture quality, otherwise they wouldn't be believable leaks, I guess. Right, exactly, right? Like it's really, really quite weird how that grainy image just went all over the place. It was all over the place. I was seeing it everywhere. Not everywhere, because I'm not looking everywhere, but I mean, you know what I mean. And yeah, it's just really, really quite amazing that, how fast these things can, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure there's a study that's been done or is currently in the process of being done. But yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's the reason why so many gravitate towards conspiracy theory. Again, it's that possession of secret hidden knowledge kind of thing, right? What aren't they telling us? What aren't they telling us? And the things that they tell us, you read between the lines, and it's, what are they really saying? What do they really mean by that? You know what I mean? Like, and it's a really kind of a wacky kind of way to have a worldview. And I mean, it's a useful tool, skepticism, but it being your main persona is not healthy, I don't think. Jonathan, probably because it looks like amateur content with bad quality. Yeah, again, but like, why does that spread so fast? That we're so quick to say, yeah, this is leaked. This somebody broke in and got the information, and you know what I mean, like, and our brains conjure up all these scenarios on how this image got out, out of the behind enemy lines of Games Workshop's fences, and somebody had to hop the wire, and you know what I mean, and many Bothans died to get us this information, kind of thing, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Ghost of Starman, what exactly is Miniac beef? I haven't looked into it. Oh, he got himself into some hot water during the Warhammer World Fest Horse Heresy a few weeks ago. It's not really a big thing. He made a boo-boo, and yeah, it's not really a big thing. He made a boo-boo. Move on. Sophie, first decade of my life, it's the parents explaining the world and what is what. And then the next 2 decades, it's the kids explaining everything to the parents. Yeah, well, because, I mean, like, you know, there's a certain point where the younger people dictate what the world experiences. And, I mean, when I was a kid, I had a pretty good grasp on what the world was. But then, once the internet really became quite prevalent, and then the last 15 years, you know, really, I mean, like, really one of the big pivotal shifts in the world and how we viewed things, and, you know, was September 11th, 2001. That day, man, everybody knew the world was going to change. The world was going to be different after those days. Yeah, the days before that event were not like the days following, right? So, yeah. But anyway, Thomas Adams, the only 3 things travel faster than the speed of light: starships, tachyons, and rumors. Only one of them are real. Yeah, tachyons, as far as we know, right? Yeah. Scott Radham, you think GW fans like to hate the company they love? Try being a Browns fan, dude. Yeah, I mean, your Browns, buddy. Your Browns are in trouble. I mean, Watson's probably, I mean, he's going to miss this year, most likely, right? Possibly 2 years. They shelled out all this money for this guy. You know, Mayfield, he's what, Panther now? And there was talks the Browns are looking at somebody else for QB. Garoppolo, I think it was what it was. Garoppolo. They were looking at Garoppolo. I don't know. Yeah, your Browns are in trouble, bud. It's some bad moves. It's a bad call. And yeah. Now those kinds of situations, right? The product is the team, to build a championship team, right? So you have all this input. And when you have all this input, you got to manage all the egos. But if it's left up to one nutty screwball who has no idea what to do, then that's kind of where it looks like things go, right? So, again, you know, I'm usually not one for committees, but in that instance, I'm thinking that maybe the committee needs to take the reins and, you know, right the course of the ship kind of thing. Because that shit looks like some Titanic stuff. Yeah, so yeah, the Browns. It's gonna be a tough year. I mean, my Steelers are looking pretty good. Still, the starting QB situation is still kind of, I don't know. But it's not a bad problem because we got talent at the QB position, so you know. Anyway. What is happening on the G-Dub side of things? What's happening? What do we got for pre-order? It's Saturday. Saturday's always pre-order day. We got, looks like made to order. That's what that symbol means, right? Made to order? Yeah, made to order. Exalted Champion. I thought these chosen and everything like that, I thought these guys were plastic. Were they not? Yeah, that's plastic. That's a plastic sprue. That's plastic. Yeah, I often thought made to orders were like, you know, for like the Finecast Forge World resin type dealio. Like these guys, these other 2 sorcerers there. Because those are old sculpts. Those are old. I want to say those are even like 2nd edition sculpts. Maybe 3rd. But they're old. They're old sculpts. And some Skaven. Yeah, see, these all look like old school sculpts. This one here, what is this? Plague Lord Nurglitch? He's got a Nurglitch. Yeah, see, he's one model. Yeah. He was Finecast, I'm sure. Got the book. Decals. Transfers. Contrast paints. Everybody get their contrast paints? Everybody buy their new contrast? Been doing some tutorials. Hive Tyrant? We're putting up pre-orders for Hive. Why are we putting up pre-orders for Hive Tyrant? Why is he on the site? Because he's big. He's a current model. Or maybe they just did like a reprint and they just got a whole bunch boxed up and ready to go for sale again, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm really disappointed in, though? Is these mugs. I wanted one of these mugs. Maybe both mugs. I wanted one of these mugs. You can't buy the fucking mugs. That's some BS right there. That's some bullshit. I want one of them mugs. Maybe both. I probably would have bought both. But no. G-Dubs doesn't want to sell the mugs. I don't know why. Or maybe it's on one of their merch sites. Where's the merch? Warhammer merch. There we go. Mugs? Are mugs in the Warhammer merch? I see t-shirts. The t-shirts, a lot of them are kind of hit and miss with me. I don't know who's designing these things, but some of them are kind of just, Video game merch. Hoodies. Okay, hoodies. Where's phone cases and iTabs. Tablet fucking cases and stuff. I'm curious. Now, I'm not shitting on this, but like your favorite White Dwarf cover as a t-shirt, like that's like people were really wanting this. Were people really wanting this? Just get, t-shirts with their favorite White Dwarf. I mean, I liked White Dwarf, but all the art that adorned the covers of White Dwarf were used on like main products. So like, I don't know. Like either for the rule books or, the box art or, whatever, right? But anyway, mugs. I want mugs, G-Dubs. Mugs, G-Dubs. Where's the mugs? Shop at product. Give me a mug. I'm clicking tabs now. Oh, these aren't bad. Yeah, it's been a while since I've perused this kind of stuff, but I like the Nurgle one. The Death Guard mug right here. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, it's got 2 images. Oh, I like that Sister Battle. Yeah, it's got the rose. Ash Militarum. Oh, jeez. Blood Angels. Tau. Where's Eldari? Where's the Eldari? Eldari get the Jess Goodwin sketches? Come on. You kidding me? Come on. More Space Marines. Ooh, corn one. Kind of wish it was the classic corn one, though. Classic corn. Tyranid one's pretty cool. There's no fucking Eldari. What the fuck? That's some bullshit right there. Again, that's some bullshit right there. You're witnessing it. We're witnessing some bullshit. Oh, this one. Classic artwork. Okay. Craft World Eldar. Yeah, okay. It's all right. Ooh, Nurgle one, though. It's actually kind of cool. That one's fun. Just Nurgles all over the place. I'm not sure that you want to drink from Nurgle Cup. It's got demons all gross and everything flying around. Okay, so far I've only seen one Eldar mug. You have got to be shitting me. Oh, Dark Eldar. It's a Dark Eldar mug. Oh. It's just like the 3rd or 4th corn mug. 3rd or 4th Nurgle mug. Okay, guys, you're pissing me off. I'm getting pissed off now. Ooh, Necromunda. The Enforcers. Where's the Corpse Grinders? See? Deepkin? Bunch of fishy. It looks like an ad for Aquaman. Look at this bullshit. It's no fucking Eldar. Like, what is this horse shit? I'm going to write a strongly worded message to whoever is making these mugs. Like, oh, Talisman. That's not bad. It's a bit big. Ogrins. I kind of like the Necromunda, like just like with the symbol and the hazard markings. I kind of like that. That looks cool. Look at this bullshit. We even have Battlefleet Gothic mugs. Battlefleet Gothic hasn't been made by Games Workshop in like how many years? Like 20 years? And it has 2 mugs? You're shitting me. There's 2 mugs for Battlefleet Gothic, game that Games Workshop hasn't even touched in 20 some years. And it's got mugs. But my frickin' Eldar can't have any mugs. That is some bullshit. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Where the hell am I? Ghost of Starman. Yeah, I think the Exalted Champion might be the first plastic made to order model. Yeah. Hive Tyrant's probably being reboxed or something. Yeah, probably it's probably a rebox. Like they probably did another production of them and box them out. Yeah. Mackay Kim, out of print sculpts. Yep. Yes. Well, typically that's the made to order. What did they call it? What the heck did they call it? We talked about it like months ago. They were going to get shelved. Like there are certain products that are going to get shelved for a bit and then they'll come back out for order and then they'll get shelved again. You know what I mean? What the hell did they call that? Range something? Damn it. I can't remember. Kerr Hellwood. I want Mark Gibbons Eldar art on my mug. Yeah, I mean, like, even some of the classic Mark Gibbons stuff, definitely. Like, the Avatar. I mean, like, I would love to own the original. Apparently that's in a private collector's stash. I had an opportunity to converse with Mark Gibbons one time at Adepticon. And, yeah, he was telling me that, yeah. Because I was like, is that original Avatar still available? And same with the Khorne Berserker. And the Khorne Berserker apparently is another. Because those are probably two of my favorite ones. And they're actually kind of similar kind of compositions. You know, it's just a figure kind of central standing there. Like the Avatar is just kind of standing there, but they got the marine and it's got like a little bit of drama. Whereas like the Khorne Berserker, he's like in the field of skulls and he's just standing there just being kind of ominous. One of my favorite pieces, well, two of my favorite pieces, I should say, from Mark Gibbons. And of course, Mark Gibbons has got tons of classic artwork from all the different game systems. And yeah. So, anyway. Sophie, I do like those mugs. Is it just Eldar you're after, Kris? Well, I mean, I like the Eldar stuff. And anything that, you know, designs that look cool. I mean, like that first Nurgle one, that looked really cool. I liked it. It had the art and then it had the big Nurgle glyph on it. I think the ones like for mugs and stuff like that, where they have more of the icons, just the icons. They don't need to have all the art, you know, going all the way around because it looks kind of funny with that big white border around the mug. And through various techniques on how they make the mugs, they can also do them on black mugs and multicolored mugs, and you know what I mean? And they can do all sorts of things, but it looks like they're just doing like primarily white mugs. But it'd be kind of cool if they did, you know, like just like the icons, you know what I mean? Like, so for example, like Eldar, you know, they just had like all the craft worlds. So you had like an Eldar rune, and then you had the craft world rune, and that's it. That's all it really needs, right? And so like for chaos, you can have a generic chaos star, right? The 8-pointed star, and then have, you know, the symbol of Khorne, right? And then, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have to be overly complex with tons of art all over it because there's not really that much room in the space of a mug to print those designs, because it's typically when you're doing mugs and stuff, it's a sublimation technique. It's a paper that is takes on sublimatable ink, and then it's basically like a heat press, and it puts that image, it bakes the image into the ceramics, and it's a sublimation technique which they use typically. Kerr Hellwood, you know, he may sell them himself. Oh, Gibbons? He may. Well, I asked him years and years ago if he, because I don't think he can sell prints, because that would be a breach of their agreements, like the artists with the company. I don't think they can sell prints. The company can sell prints because technically the company owns the IP in which that art was created. But the artists can still own the originals, right? And still do stuff with the originals, but it's usually just private sale kind of thing, you know, just buy the original off the person. And Jabba's Left Nut. There's no Eldar mugs because GW is a family-friendly company, and Eldar sucking a big bag of dicks is not fit for kids. True enough, I suppose. By that logic, you might be right. Kerr Hellwood. I bought some art from Clint Langley a decade ago and was talking to Mark at the same time. Went with Clint as his Inquisitor art was just too cool. Yeah, like there's so many great artists who made art for Games Workshop way back in the day. Like another one that I would like, I'm sure is probably pricey is the original Space Hulk artwork for the first Space Hulk game. I bought a print from it from Warhammer Art, the biggest print that they sell. I bought the biggest one, and love it. It's hanging in my other studio room, along with some other Eldar stuff that I picked up from Warhammer Art. But yeah, like Warhammer Art, periodically I pick up stuff from them because, you know, I like art. I like art, and a lot of the classic art, you know, I would love to acquire. And if I really had the resources, I would probably go out of my way to acquire the originals. Because yeah, I definitely would like to pick up the original of the Space Hulk box art piece, because that's just one of those pieces that, for me, it is the beginning of this whole journey into this hobby and to, you know, everything, you know, in this Games Workshop sphere of gaming, you know. So yeah, that's the beginning for me. Sophie, you may need a Way the Brush mug for your stream office. Yeah, I you know, honestly, I have not done a Way the Brush mug. I should probably kind of put together something for a Way the Brush mug. I don't know. I've got ideas, because I've had ideas, because I do have the means to create t-shirts myself, like print them myself, design them, create them, print them myself. And, you know, I just haven't done it. There's also, I've also got to get to some producing as well, physical objects, basically. Everybody out there, you know. I know. It's on my to-do list. I know. Anyway. Kerr Hillwood, he can sell some, was my understanding. Clint could. Yeah. As far as I understood things, he could sell the originals. He just couldn't sell prints of them. I'm pretty sure. They like, I'm pretty sure all those artists, I'm pretty sure they can get rid of the originals or hang on to them or do whatever they like with them. But they can't, like, make prints. They can't put them on t-shirts. They can't put them on, you know, mugs. They can't make, you know, product like merchandise for them. You know, they can't do that because it's Games Workshop's property, technically, under the law, under copyright law. But yeah, they are the artist who created it. But yeah. Will Hollick, do we have a date for the secret Thailand trip? Well, it's not much of a secret if everybody keeps talking about it. And no, we don't have a date. And honestly, I'm not even sure I have the resources to pull that off right now. Kerr Hellwood, Clint Langley, Lightning Claw Terminator are amazing, and he sells them. He sells the prints? Oh yeah? I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah, he was allowed to sell limited prints. 4, I think I got number 1 of the Inquisition, and the Harlequin for Marvel, he's allowed 150. Oh, really? Yeah, so again, I mean, like I'm not 100% sure on what these guys' agreements and what they can do, what they can't do, and, you know, stuff like that. But, sorry, I'm just quickly looking up Clint Langley here. Artist, illustrator. Magic the Gathering, I guess, is a big one for him. The art. Let's see. Yeah, the Inquisition stuff. Yeah. Oh, Sapphire Kane, he did that one too? Yeah. Oh, all these classic Chaos ones. Yes. Oh, and that Zinch one is his. Really? I didn't realize. Yeah, these ones are really, really cool. Let's go this one. Yeah, the Zinch Thousand Sun Marine. Yeah. There's so much texture in his work. So much. Lobo. Bring back Sheriff Lobo. Ooh, Plague Marine. Oh, small. Tyrannid? Tyrannid. Yeah, these are really cool pieces. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, Nightbringer. I think I still have this novel somewhere. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, this piece too. Yeah, that's another classic. This one I always assumed was a product of airbrushing and Photoshop, but I have no idea. I have no idea what his workflow is like. Or even technically what mediums he works in. Like, what mediums is this? I guess I could just go to his website, right? And just see what his preferred medium is. Because, like, it looks like some of it looks like airbrush, and then some of it looks like digital. Or it's like a combination of the two. And so, yeah. But I have no idea. What his workflow is like. Scott Radom, you guys are nuts to buy physical pieces of art. I only buy NFTs. It's the future, and NFTs are awesome. Also, I am insane. Yeah, well, talking like that, yeah, you sound insane. Yeah, I'm NFTs. I looked into that a while ago, to see if it was something that I really wanted to, help with the artwork and everything like that, like all my other artwork. And yeah, I saw like no advantage to it. And yeah, no. Kerr Hellwood, Clint was allowed to sell limited prints for our... Oh, I already read that one. He did loads for Warcraft too. Oh yeah? Well, he's a busy guy, it looks like. Kerr, that's mine. I love that. It's all digital. Oh, it's all digital? There's no actual piece? Okay, so I did suspect that, like, because, like, that Harlequin one, she's a Dire Avenger, that one, it did look digital to me. But, like, the Thousand Sun, yeah, I couldn't tell you if that was digital or if that was, actual painting, just because, so many layers to it, But I think with a lot of digital pieces, what kind of gives it away is the Gaussian blur, the use of Gaussian blur. That typically is a giveaway to me. But I mean, working digitally, there's nothing wrong with it. I've talked in the past about, basically, I prefer a physical medium as opposed to, digital pieces. But that's just my own preference. And I like the idea that the original is a physical piece of medium, right? Be it a sculpture, painting, whatever. And digital, like owning the original, it just loses a lot of the charm. As far as being a collector and appreciator of these things, when there's not a physical original, right? Because then it feels like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's real. Digital art, along with everything digital, in this digital world we live in, doesn't feel real. There's nothing, right? Like, we're buying products, digital products, through digital means, with invisible money that doesn't really exist. No money is actually trading hands for a product that doesn't actually exist. It's a bunch of ones and zeros, right? And in Canada, we recently had a blackout. I think we're still amidst the blackout. Apparently, it's not until Monday that things are going to get cleared up, apparently. But there's a blackout here in Canada. Basically, because of monopolies, one company error has affected the entire economy in this country. The entire economy in Canada. Yeah, yesterday was quite a kerfuffle because, yeah, why? We're not even sure why and how this happened, but yeah, certain things have to be put in place now. Certain things have to be put in place that the loss of digital transactions and things of that nature, that has to change, because holy shit, like, what a pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass trying to do digital things in the physical world. And that's, where something has to be done. These two modes of commerce. It's, yeah, I know that everybody wants to go towards a digital economy, but if this is what a digital economy looks like and safeguards are not put in place and it's up to single companies to make these choices, that puts us all at risk. And that's no good. That's no way to run a society. That's no way to run a society. Kerr Halewood. It done digital, and they have the Dire Avenger #1 print signed, as well as the Inquisitor cover. It's right next to me now. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, the one is it Draco, where he's got the goatee, he's got the slight beard and everything like that? Is that the piece? Yeah, that's a good piece. Yeah, those were all done for the reprint of the Inquisitor novel, which got broke up into Inquisitor, Harlequin, and Chaos Child. But it was all one book at one point. Anyway. Scott Radham, the Dire Avenger art belongs on the side of a van. Like one of those hippy-dippy vans. Kerr Halewood. So I have the original in a sense as it was the first ever printed. Sure. But that's not the original. It's a print. It's the first print. It's the first edition print. Which is, fine as well. And and that is, of value to collectors. Because it's just like, like comic books. First edition comic books. People seek those out. Even though there's millions of them produced, but it's that first edition run that people really lose their shit over, right? And me personally, yeah. I mean, at one point when I was collecting Predator comics, my first issue of Predator was first edition. And, and then I was going for all the other first editions after that as well. And then, of course, misplaced my collection. Because, again, it's comics. And, yeah. Does it really have value? Only to certain people. Which is, again, a lesson in perceived value, Kerr would be a cool van. Yeah, have that on the side of the van? Yeah, that'd be cool. Shaggin' wagon. Scott, hell yeah, it'd be a cool van. Other side would be Houses of Holy Album cover. Houses of the Holy Album cover. Kerr, yeah, Draco, yeah. Yeah, those are good pieces. Yeah, those 3 pieces, yeah. Definitely. Draco. I'm still missing my first book. Let's jump over to what time we at. Holy camoles. We're already an hour into this. Let's jump over to the Instagrams because we can and we shall look at pretty pics. This one is from Cronier Painting. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Cronier. Looks like another little blood bowler duder. Nurgly. Looks like Frankenstein. I like the stripes on his hand. That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty darn cool. Blood Bowl. Blood. Happy you joined the team, Frankie. Chainsaw Boy is in the team. Little Gobbo. Is this the star player? Or is it just regular Gobbo? Dirty little Gobbos. Gobbos and Halflings are basically if you want to play the game in hard mode. A new player just joined the team. Let's give that a like. Now, Cronier, I don't know how often you tune in and listen to this stuff, but did you go and find yourself some decal solvent? Did you? I don't know if you did. I really like your work on the skin, though. It's really good. But yeah, decal solvent will help you with those decals lifting off that surface. It will. Trust me on that one, bro. Trust me, bro. Oh, look at this guy. He's got the bomb. Looks like Batman. Let's bring this to the pitch. Yeah, no. Look, did I get the last one I like? I did. He's got a bomb. Nice work on the flames. That's good work. Yeah, it should put like a hazard marking on the bomb. Like if it wasn't obvious enough that it's dangerous, but like have like the explosive logo on it or something, I don't know. Something silly like that. It's Blood Bowl. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. Goblin Bruisers is now on the pitch. Looks like he's heading off to an interview, job interview. I'm heading to work. Like, where's he looking? He's not even watching where he's going. That's how you fail skill checks and dodge tests. Are you doing a bit of a non-metallic metal thing on the shoulder pad and the elbow pad and everything? Is that what you're doing? Is that a bit of a non-metallic metal thing you're doing? Welcome to the team. We already looked at this one. Okay. Are we done? Oh, I think we're done. Oh, wow, that was short. Okay. Well, we're caught up. We're caught up, apparently. So, if you want me to have a look at your pieces on the Instagram side of things, use the hashtag Way of the Brush. Hashtag #. Hashtag # Way of the Brush. And I'll see your pieces. Not your pieces, but your pieces. I'll see your pieces. That sounds all kinds of wrong. But I'm sticking to it. Russ Sandbags. Hey Kris, have you ever dabbled into making your own paints or pigments? Well, making your own pigments is an endeavor, mainly because there's only a few places that reliably we get pigments for paints, right? There's only a few sources, and big companies have already got those in lockdown. So pretty much everybody who's making paints, they're more than likely getting their pigments from one or two sources, because, you know, again, monopolies, right? And so yeah. Now, making your own paints, I have considered it, but whenever I get into the mindset of, you know, making my own paints or anything like that, what am I going to do differently? Because I definitely do not want to do the same 70 colors for this hobby range, right? Like, what is the point? Now, I'm not discouraging anybody out there or disparaging anybody who's, you know, producing miniature paints, but it's the same fucking hues. It's the same fucking hues that are used across all these same paint lines. They all use a similar hue of, you know what I mean? And the only thing that really separates them is the binder, the medium, which suspends the pigment. And if I was to do a paint line, I'd probably want to do something of a paint that I would want to see and how I would want paint to interact. And without giving away too much, I think the kind of paints that you hear me talk most about, those are the kind of paints that I would like to put forward. But again, to do something different, because again, what's the point of putting out paint pots of color, dropper bottles of the same value colors, and they might even have the same consistencies, right? So like, what is the point? What would be the point of me putting out a paint line if it's just going to be the same shit that everybody else is producing, right? Like, as far as water-based acrylic paints are concerned, like, what would be the point? Like, what am I going to do that's different? Like, putting out a black or white and then telling everybody it's the brightest white, it's the darkest black, like, that's what everybody's going to say. Our paints are highly pigmented. That's what everybody says, because nobody, like who's out there going, oh, we got the lowest pigment. The acrylic binder we use is really, really, you know, goopy, and you know, it's going to make your models look all slimy. And, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's advertising. Everybody's, it's the strongest pigments. It's, you know, the fastest drying time or slowest drying time. You know what I mean? Like there's all these factors, and like, it's all pretty much the same. And a lot of these paints, they're often just, you know, rebrands from other companies. There's like one or two, you know, well, not one or two. There's quite a few companies who produce paint, but those guys go to the same sources to acquire their pigments, right? And I mean, like, you can, you know, I guess have a hand, but I mean, like, that costs money to research, to R&D, doing something different for a paint line. And then you're not even sure if it'll be well received. Because again, if you're doing something different, which is why so many of the paint companies, they all just do the same thing and imitate each other just to get a buck. Like, nah. No, I honestly have very little interest. I would rather bring something different to market. I'd rather have something that has longevity. But unfortunately, because it would be so outside the norm, that it probably wouldn't do well because nobody would understand it. It would take a long time for it to sink in, and those are my thoughts. That's the only reason I don't really actively pursue creating a paint line, because it costs a lot of money to develop it, to get it the way I want it, to do the things that I want it to do, and then all the hues and values and stuff like that. Like it just. It's all the same. Sophie, I'm always looking out for the 9LD White Dwarf issues and Beano annuals, British comic book for kids. Earliest I have is White Dwarf 2009 and Beano 1953, but it's good to look in secondhand shops and car boot. Yeah. Oh yeah, secondhand shops. Yeah. You'd be surprised sometimes what you find like in antique stores, and you'll find, old prints of magazines and stuff like that. Hey, this was a magazine I was looking for, and it's good, and it's a pretty good condition because it's an antique store, and they typically take care of that kind of stuff, right? So yeah. Sophie, sales to find old stuff. Yeah. Oh, like now when you say car boot, are we talking about the literal trunk of the car? This is now because. In the UK, a boot is the trunk, right? In North America, we call it the trunk, the back storage spot on a car. But we also have, in North America, I don't know if this is the rest of the world calls it this, but we call it garage sales, where basically people on Saturday mornings get up early, set up a table on their front yard, and sell the crap in their house they no longer want. We call them garage sales over here. I don't know if Europe has those kind of things, if that's something that goes on in Europe. But in North America, pretty much every weekend, somebody somewhere in your neighborhood is having a garage sale, and they're just getting rid of old junk that's worthy of selling, right? And so you usually end up picking really nice things up. And it's oftentimes where you get, like toy collectors. They'll peruse those garage sales because they're looking for them classic toys, especially when you find somebody who's like an elderly couple. Yeah, and they say, oh, my kids used to play with this back in the 70s. And, it's this classic, metal toy from back in the day, old wind-up metal toy. And, yeah. So, anyway. Russ Sandbags. I've always wanted to make mummy brown. LOL, I just have to find some mummies. Yeah, I remember there was, a pigment that was made from mummies, right? Yeah, something like that. I really agree about making something different rather than doing something that's already been done. Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, in this world, we are currently conditioned to seek out things we already recognize. And we rarely are looking for something original, new. We're rarely looking for a new experience. We're looking for what we've already experienced and have fond memories of. Nostalgia. We're in this culture of nostalgia, and that culture permeates our very ideas as far as what we're actively seeking out. We don't seek out new and original things, right? It just doesn't occur. We see it in movies, we see it in food, we see it in TV, our literature, we see it all over the place. We're looking for nostalgia. Why? Because this world has become so chaotic and scary that we're retreating back into ourselves to make sense and to feel good, because we're trying to remember back to those times where we felt safe and we've actually still felt joy about things. And that's why nostalgia culture is so pervasive these days, is because this world has become, it feels like this world has become so chaotic. The world really hasn't become more chaotic. The world is still clicking along at the rate it always has. It just feels like it's more chaotic. And, but again, things that happen on the internet aren't real. What happens on Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that, that's not real. That's curated. That's for clicks. It's to generate those feelings in you, because again, this culture is about feelings. The nostalgia culture is about feelings. The outrage culture, it's about feelings. Like I don't know how to put it any more simply. But yeah. Kurt Halewood, that's why Mike McVeigh just rebranded Coat d'Arms for Formula P3. Yeah, exactly. And Coat d'Arms was the original GW paints, right? Like they produced the original Citadel colors. Then they became Formula. And is Mike McVeigh have his own paint line? Is that what I'm gathering from that comment? I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of his work. He was a huge factor in the way I paint. So yeah. Like if my style of painting is an imitation of somebody else's painting, mine would be an imitation of Mike McVeigh's painting. That's really it. Ghost of Starman, advertise your paints as the crappiest garbage around just to see who buys it anyway. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, I might as well just completely undersell it. Like, nah, you don't really want these paints. and have, like, the box art look like grainy images, like potato quality camera. All my YouTube videos showcasing the paints are like 360, P fucking quality videos, like just like shot on early cell phone cameras and stuff like that, and just have it just completely look like crap. Yeah. And watch it sell. That would be hilarious. That would be my luck, actually. So, yeah. Sophie, they put stuff in the cars to drive somewhere and meet others, set up tables and display their junk to sell, like garage sake, but all at once, like in a town square area. Over here, that is known as the swap meet. Not to be confused with another type of swap meet, but but yeah, it's commonly known in North America, especially in the States, as a swap meet. In Canada, we typically call those flea markets, where a bunch of people come together, just random ass folks selling their crap. But typically at a flea market, you also have more entrepreneurial type of endeavors. So you'll get smaller businesses selling their product as well at flea markets as well. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Jabba, it's a boot, not a boot. Oh, it's a boot, not a boot. It's a boot. It's a boot, a boot. It's a boot, my boot. I think I felt a brain vessel pop there. But yeah, in Canada, we have flea markets. In the States, they typically call those swap meets. As far as I understand them. It's been a long time since I've been to a flea market, but yeah. Anyway. Russ Sandbags. I've been coming to grips with nostalgia factor. I find it's being better to accept what was and how fun it was, instead of trying to recreate that situation. Exactly. And it feels like with this nostalgia-ness, this culture of nostalgia that we're really in right now, yeah, it's all about trying to recreate it, right? Because now I'm noticing, like, the fucking mullet is coming back. The fucking mullet. Good God. And next we'll see the rat tail and, jean jackets with the band logos all over. I mean, those really kind of didn't go away, but they're becoming more popular again. Not that I don't think that they were popular back in the day. Again, it's that nostalgia, because it's a culture of nostalgia now. Dark Commission, hi Kris, and Monkey Peeps. Hi, Dark. Russ Sandbags. It's difficult, but it's fun to try new things at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Sophie, if you do the math, it'd probably be 1 in a million times you'll find something wargaming related, but fate will be that day that you don't look at it, and will be the day you'll probably be able to buy 5,000 points worth of unbuilt Warhammer army. Yeah, probably, right? It's that one day you say, it's, somebody's garage sale, and they're like, My grandson used to play this, back in the 90s. And yeah, I'm just selling it. How much you want for it? I don't know, $10 plus the book? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah, so check out them garage sales. You never know what you're going to find. You never know. Especially with, like, older people. Yeah, and they tend not to know what this stuff's about. Yeah. I'm not saying take advantage of the elderly. I don't know what I'm really saying there. I don't take advantage of the elderly, I guess. I guess is what I'm saying. You know what? Fuck them geezers. You know what? Fuck them geezers. They had their chance. Screw them over on the deal. There you go. Everybody's like, that's terrible advice. That's horrible. I don't want to fuck over grandma. Anyway, Kerr Halewood. I use Coat d'Arms still. You can still get them. Yeah, I have some of them. Mike came up with for Privateer Press. Oh, okay. I found a few boxes of war games at a car booth for Hero Quest and Blood Bowl. That's cool. Jonathan Whelancy? Anyway, who will manufacture the paints? Oh, if I made Way the Brush paints, who would make them? Honestly, like Way the Brush paints, definitely, could be a thing. But I think Way the Brush, I mean, it's in the name, right? It's Way of the Brush. I'd have to make brushes. I'd have to make a brush. I think that's really where the first thing goes, is a new kind of brush. But again, I'd want to do something original, something different, something to stand apart from the rest of the brushes. And I'm not sure what that is. I have ideas, but I don't really feel like sharing them because I don't want to put those ideas out there, but because that's potentially fertile soil in which I could plant something. And so I don't want to, upset the order of putting the information out there. There's some stuff I do keep to myself, believe it or not. I play some stuff pretty close to my vest, so yeah. Jabba's Love Nut. We have swap meets in the UK. We call it dogging. Fuck off. I know you're having a fucking laugh at me right now, but okay. Raw dogging? Is it raw dogging? Dogging and raw dogging? Donald Hughes. Down in Michigan, we have flea markets instead of swap meets, but the rest of the country thinks we're Canada anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of the northern states, yeah, like Michigan, Wisconsin, yeah, even Minnesota, tend to be a bit more Canadian than the rest of the Americans. Yeah. Kerr Halewood. Stranger Things has much to answer for. Oh, yeah, definitely. For nostalgia? That's the reason Stranger Things became so popular is because it hit at the right point in this nostalgia culture that we're in. Yeah. George Hints. There he is. In the South, we have both flea markets and swap meets. Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah, because, like, as far as I understood things, flea markets, like, you can tend to get more commercial type, small business type booths. And with swap meets, it was more or less similar kind of thing, which is why I've always kind of equated them to being the same thing, is because it seems like they're basically the same thing, It's just basically, mom and pop can set up a booth, getting rid of the crap, or the small business can set up a booth and they're selling, honey and, stuff like that, and, crocheted shit and, whatever, right? It's whatever. But honestly, like, that's, that kind of scenario, I assume that's something that has happened all over this planet for thousands of years. Once humans start to come together as a society, swap meets, marketplace, right? Like, that's what those are. It's where everybody gets together, and they get together and they sell their wares, and you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just crap they find, and sometimes it's what they've made and what they've grown, and you know what I mean? Like, that's really what all they are. It's a tradition as old as probably human civilization is, and it happens all over this planet. Every culture on this planet has some version of that, and so that has to be intrinsically human, a human endeavor of this human society that we've made up. Yeah. Ghost of Starman, Way the Brush, episode 385. Fuck the geezers. Or perhaps screw them geezers to appease the algorithm. Screw them geezers. Yeah, you know what? Screw them geezers. You win, Starman. You win. Screw them geezers. That's it. I like it. It's it's uh it's toxic enough to not get me flagged. Screw them geezers. Screw them over. Right in the ear. Screw them right in the ear. Because you know what? Honestly, though, they've had their chance. They had their chance. They had the ball, and they dropped the ball. They fucked up. Honestly, they fucked up. And so, yeah, screw them. It's the same old, same old. That's the same talking points for the last 60, 70 years that people have said. Screw the geezers. They had their chance. Sophie, when's your garage sale, Kris? You know what? Honestly, if I put all my, like, all the stuff that I'm not going to get to, or I don't plan to get to, or, you know, I'm never going to get to, or don't want to have anymore, like, all the stuff, like, you guys are all thinking, like I'm some sort of dragon sitting on, you know, his big pile of gold, which I kind of am. And if I did a garage sale just on my front lawn, set up a table and had all this shit out there, it wouldn't move. And nobody would pay what I would want to sell it for, right? Because we all had imagined, you know what I mean? Like, if I took the Horse Heresy box and tried to sell it for $500 right now on my front lawn, nobody would pay $500 for that. Be like, what? For plastic models? Are you fucking crazy? I'll give you $20, right? That's the reality. That's the reality, right? But if I go onto the internet, selling Horse Heresy $500, especially like a year from now or a couple of years, and nobody can get their hands on the box, and I still have one in shrink wrap, that would sell for $500. Yeah. So, who knows? George, these days, Kris, you are a geezer. I am a geezer. Yeah, I'm becoming geezer by the minute. In fact, if you go to the beginning of the stream to like this point, you'll see there's a visible difference in geezerishness. Geezerishness? What is the term for that? I don't know. But yeah, if you go to the beginning of the stream, when I first started the stream, you'll see, there's Kris. And then right now, right now, yeah, I'm more of a geezer. And by the end of this stream, I'll be even more of a geezer. You'll see it. It's very slight, but you'll see it. There is a visible difference. Sophie, just wondering what Kris will name the paints. Will they be just dark red or more funny, naughty names? I don't know. Again, because I've voiced my opinion about fucking stupid names that, yeah, I would be a hypocrite not to, hold on here. Getting rid of the bot. There we go. Got rid of the bot. Bot can fuck off. The message is still out there. Selling the best adult dating site. It's got lots of thumbs and hearts. Anyway. Yeah. Who knows what the names would be. Like if I'd go for straight up names or if I'd go for goofy names. I mean, really, the double entendre is one of my favorite sports to play. So, who knows? Who knows? Ghost of Starman, we need Monkey Poop Brown. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I kind of would have to throw in goofy-ass names like that. I kind of would have to, right? Jabba. Greeny Brown should be called Nurgle's Discharge. Oof. Greeny Brown. But that's kind of descriptive, isn't it? Like, if there was a color called greeny brown, and you'd be like, oh, what color is it? Well, that's kind of a greeny brown. Like, see, I would have to go with something kind of logical, but also could also be misinterpreted as well. I think that's where I would lie on those names. Somewhere in there. In that territory. In that sport. In that ball game. Greg Gurman. Kris the Dragon. Now I want to see the movie. Me as the dragon? Yeah. I'd be like Smog and just crawling around on my jewels. I'm crawling around on my jewels. That doesn't sound right. George, we have a local hobby shop that sponsors a miniature swap meet about twice a year. Yeah, and we have something like that as well. There's one place, they do an auction where everybody can put out, bring in their bags of stuff and what they're getting rid of, and it gets auctioned, and we have like an auction, and it's really fun. I missed the last couple because it probably didn't happen because of COVID, and I think it's like early fall. It's like just like because a good time. Okay, here's a little tip for everybody out there. A good time to start looking at swap meet type of things, and like looking for deals of people getting in and out of the hobby, is when college is ending and starting. So acquiring stuff, a good time is when school's starting. Why? Because that's when people need cash. So everybody out there is looking for cash, and if you've got cash and you know some college kids and university kids, you can probably score some deals off them, because they're like, fuck, I need money. I spent it all on these brand new Predator tanks, but fuck, I gotta get textbooks. Shit. Okay, I'll give you, £100. All right, yeah, here you go. And they can go get their textbooks, and then they're like, fuck, now I'm out my Predator tanks, right? So it's a good time to basically take advantage of the students, basically, is what I'm saying. So today is basically take advantage of the geezers and take advantage of the students. And basically, if you're gonna take advantage of anybody in between, you know what? Feel free to do so as well, because basically that's capitalism, right? That's capitalism, is take advantage of the little people, and yeah, so that's capitalism, people. So embrace it, embrace capitalism. Yeah, today's full of horrible messages. It's just horrible advice, horrible messages. What I'm telling people today. Dark Commission. A bloke is a geezer. You're only a geezer if you had a beer and curry the night before. I haven't had either. I'm not much on curry, honestly. I mean, the curry's fine, but I'm not much of a curry eater. Like if I really want spice, I usually go to peppers, hot peppers, hot vegetables, and a beer. Well, I'm diabetic, so I'm supposed to limit the amount of alcohol I'm taking in. So yeah. Don Hughes. Oi, geez Louise. Welcome, Sky Commando. Welcome. There you go. Take it easy. It's okay. We'll take advantage of geezers to get... Oh, it's already gone. Oh, it's already gone. Shit. So anyway. I can't even remember what I was talking about. Welcoming. Anyway. Oh, geezers, right. Yeah, so beer, not supposed to. Curry, I don't eat much curry. I know over in the UK, you guys love curry. And that's great. On this side, no, not so much. I mean, curry's popular, but yeah, not to the extent that the UK seems to just love curry. Don Hughes. Oh yeah, Don Hughes Alfarius. Red and slightly darker red. Yeah, exactly, right? That's some of the names. It's a red. Here's red paint. It's red. And then darker red. And then slightly darker red. And then even more slightly darker red. Yeah, exactly. Just long ass. Slightly even more darker red is the name. Everybody's like, what the hell is with these names? Russ Sandbags. I've always wanted to try to make new pigments, concentrated organic plants or inorganic cool rocks materials. Yeah, that's pretty much where we get our pigments. Most of them are inorganic. Most of them come from minerals. But yeah, you get some that are from organic sources. But yeah, like for example, carbon black. Guess where we get carbon black paint from? Just take a wild guess. Take a shot in the dark. Go ahead. You'll get it. Your first instinct is correct. Yeah, your first instinct is correct. Guess where we get most of our carbon black from? Yeah. And that's exactly where we get it from. Rust sandbags, especially if they're different or new. Yeah. Rian Kruger. Hi, man. Will the Croxagore scale make a nice plasma gun turquoise color? Oh, definitely. Yeah. The Croxagore scale, it's one of the few that is more of a transparency than it is the opaque. It seems like with these new Citadel colors, more of them are have more opacity to them. They don't get darker in recesses. They just get more saturated and more opaque. They actually don't really change value that much. That's why in the photos, they look very flat, even though they're supposed to be like a contrast paint, because they have that additive in them that helps where they get into the coverage, where they help with coverage. And it actually, I think the real advantage of a lot of those contrast colors is the fact it's easy to just touch a spot and you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you have the arm and the gun, and then you're trying to get inside this space, and you know, like, you haven't done sub-assemblies, right? Because you're relatively new to the hobby, or you just don't care, right? You're just powering through the models. And so you want to get some opaque color in those spaces. Yeah, the contrast, you can just hit that area and it'll just fill in those areas for you. And it actually is kind of what you see. Remember in that initial teaser video we got where we saw the blank figures, and then the color was getting splashed on and they were becoming this fully formed, realized, you know, vision? That kind of is what they are like. You touch those areas and they, you know, they spread out, and, you know, they fill in those spaces so that when you look at the model and you get really kind of into looking into spots, you can get paint into those areas. Typically those areas are kind of hard to cover, right? But with contrast paints, especially with these newer ones, it feels like they're more designed towards that goal than anything, really. Simply mini painting. That's not capitalism at all. Ghost Starman. Clearly fake fans if they prioritize textbooks over Predators. Exactly, right? Like, they're not real collectors if they're like, you know, do I need textbooks or do I need the new Horse Heresy box? Horse Heresy box. Like, that's a real fan right there. That's a real fan. We'll have to start a new fan site. Real fans. Or maybe that's already a thing. Because there's OnlyFans. But then we'll have real fans. Only real fans. And we'll have it just for Warhammer people. We'll start it at a real fan site. Anyway, Sophie can see Kris going to one of those mini auction swap meets with a huge box of minis and go home with all his minis plus 2 more boxes of minis. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Last time I went to the auction, which was, you know, it was local, you know, for wargaming stuff. I acquired Blood Bowl, like the second edition Blood Bowl. I think it was second edition Blood Bowl. I acquired one of those, and maybe it was third edition. Anyway, and the Wraith Lord. It was all magnetized, assembled, all the parts. It was unpainted. I was like, yeah, I'll screw with that. And I picked that up for $10. I picked up that Wraith Lord that I painted. Like, that is all magnetized. You know, it's the one that's just kind of in a straight pose that you will see on my Instagram and on the site and everything like that. Yeah, I picked that up for $10. So, you know, deal. Ghost of Starman. For real though, textbooks are extortionate. I'm glad that the uni gave me free access to a bunch of resources like that. No kidding. Oof. Simply mini painting. Geezer is pronounced geyser. Mean you're gonna have the heck of a poop time. A geyser or a geezer? Geezer, geyser? Rough sandbag bones. Dark Commission. Speaking of curry, I'm just off to the kitchen to make a chicken balti. BRB? Balti? Chicken balti? What's a balti? I don't know what that is. Sophie. Dark Commission. If you're making it spicy, pop your low roll in the fridge. Your backside will be on fire later. Again, it's amazing how the country spawned the language, yet nobody seems to speak it. Like, I would assume that anybody in England, in the UK, their mastery of English, right? Because the country spawned the goddamn language. You would assume that everyone, every single soul would be very proficient in English. And yet, nobody is. Nobody seems to speak it. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Balti is a curry. But is a curry a Balti? Ah, that's the question. Is a curry a Balti? Balti is a curry. Is curry a Balti? There we go. We're getting into we're getting into the weeds on this stuff. Russ Sandbags. Would you ever want to collect all the Eldar old armor cast models? Well, I have the Phantom, and that was a model I wanted way back in the day when they came out, when Armor Cast was still producing this stuff. And at the time, $100 or $200 for a model, that was crazy talk. Back when we used to get $20 would get us 30 plastic Space Marines, spending $200 on a big model, that was craziness. $200 on a model? Are you insane? You have to be insane to spend that on on that kit. And now it's, don't even bat an eye at it now. I mean, $200 for a model? Yeah, that's easy. And even when Forge World first came out, and like I bought the first Type 1 Scorpion, and that was, I think I spent 300 Canadian on that. And everybody kind of looked at me like, $300 on that model? Are you crazy? Yeah. And now, nobody bats an eye at it. Nobody bats an eye at it. It's just, again, it's craziness. It's craziness. It's crazy how things have changed. But yeah, would I want to collect them all? The Revenant Titan for Eldar Armorcast, it's cool and all. I'd probably get one just for nostalgia's sake, for just completion's sake. But no, I have a Phantom Titan. I've modded my Phantom Titan so that it has kind of it has a slight contemporary feeling to it. But otherwise, yeah, I love it. The Phantom Titan, yeah. I mean, it's like buying an old Ferrari, right? It's like buying a classic car. That's often how I, equate these things. It's like buying a classic car. You buy it for its aesthetics, even though the modern products perform way better, are cleaner, and more details, bells and whistles, right? But there's a charm to the classics, and especially when when it was around while you were around, or you were a kid, and you always said, or maybe your favorite TV show, and that car was in that, like Starsky and Hutch. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about there, right? Classic Starsky, the original, the show, not that fucking movie, whatever the fuck that was. But yeah, it was all about the car, kids in the cars, right? And so, Phantom Titan back in the day, yeah, I wanted it. Came up like almost, shit, yeah, we're coming up on 20 years now. Damn, 20 years later, and it's like somebody was selling it. I'm pretty sure they were a student and looking for money, and so I said, yeah, I'll give you this, and they gave it to me, and it was legit, and yeah, I was a happy guy. Happy. I'm gonna sit here, be happy, drink my coffee, and being happy. That's probably the only model. If I get rid of anything, that's the only model I'll probably still hang on to, is my Eldar Phantom Titan from Armorcast. Yeah. I'd love to get a Forge World one. Just, again, because of the collector in me and for completion's sake and also comparative. I have pictures on my blog of my Phantom Titan and the newer Phantom Titan, but that's the buddy's Phantom Titan. He was assembling and painting and building it up. Me, personally, I probably would do something a little bit more fancier with mine. Rather than just kind of standing there, I'd probably have it like in a run or something. Doing something crazy. Maybe in a jump kick or something. Kind of doing like that Bruce Lee flying jump kick thing. Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Ghost of Starman. Every Balti is a curry, but not every curry is a Balti. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was asking. So, okay. Confirmed. It's confirmed. Scott, when my Oma emigrated from Berlin, she learned English by watching Coronation Street. Her accent is fucked up. Chris Galloway, English is an amalgamation of other languages, though. Sure. But the UK, England, famously, it's the homeland of it. That's the homeland of that language. Is it not? Is English not from England? Whether it's an amalgamation, I mean, like, all languages made up, right? I mean, like, it was groups of people putting sounds together and then developing a communication, and you know what I mean? Like, it's all made up. We made it up so we can communicate ideas together, and that's all language really is. It's just us making sounds. But the language itself, the land that spawned it, the land that spawned the people and spawned the language, you would think that they would be complete masters of it. Wouldn't you? I would assume. But what do I know? What do I know? I don't know shit. Fire Trick 18. I'm driving home. Don't stop the show. Wait for me. I may have to have input on the geyser debacle. Geyser? Ball gazer? Sophie, we speak English perfectly in the UK. It's other countries that have butchered it. That could be true. That could be true. I'm willing to accept that is a possibility. Yes. And Dark Commission agrees. Okay, hey, sounding healthy tonight, Kris. So glad your head is still intact. Yeah, oh yeah. No, my head hasn't exploded. I haven't died from COVID. I feel better. I sound better. You just got to keep moving and just got to keep living and just got to keep doing stuff, right? And also, monitoring what you eat and monitoring your interactions. We even actually had, was it last weekend? Yeah, it was last weekend. We had like a whole neighborhood kind of get together where, a bunch of us neighbors got together and we were, having food, sitting around, swimming and talking and, getting to know each other. And yeah, it was good. I highly encourage you to go out and at least introduce yourself to your neighbors and get to know them, because these are the people who live next to you, right? So when shit really goes sideways, when and if, perchance, it's just good to know the people around you in your immediate area, right? Whether you live in an apartment building or, subdivision or even out in the sticks. Usually people like out in the sticks though, they do know their neighbors, because you're close enough that you kind of want to know who's around you, but also far enough that I don't really need to talk to them today. Like it's probably the ideal situation. In fact, it probably goes back to early humans, and I don't want to know who's there, but I also don't really want to interact with them all the time. So we live a good distance apart, kind of thing, right? So yeah, I mean, I get it. Simply Mini Painting. America had that tea party and we said we could do it better. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That tea party, that whole dust up, like 200 some years ago. Yeah, that whole dust up. Yeah. What time we got here? Holy cramoles, we got 17 minutes left of the show. Let's do emails. It's email time, kids. It's email time. If you are wearing headphones, you just may want to turn them up or down, because here it comes. Yeah, let's go with this one. Email time. Good God, it goes on forever. Oh, it's done. This one is from Alexander Murray regarding speed paints. Have you tried the speed paints and I missed it? Long time watcher, first time creepy, right? First time question. Alexander, thanks for the email. I thought there was more to it, but anyway, no, I have not tried the speed paints. I've not done any videos on speed paints. They reached out to me a while ago about that big mega paint set. I don't know if it was Army Painter or if it was somebody affiliated with them, but yeah, somebody was looking to send me that. I was like, I turned it down. I was like, at the time I was really busy with a lot of stuff, and it comes around once in a while. People trying to wanting to see it, send me stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. Some manufacturers occupy more of my time than others. Let me just put it that way. And yeah, I would like to take product from all sorts of people and be able to do it, but I would probably just become overwhelmed with all the various products, because there's so much stuff out there. So many people making awesome looking miniatures, so many people doing paint, so many doing brushes, widgets, and you know what I mean? Like, and the way my life and my schedule work right now, I don't honestly have the time to dedicate any real amount of time, showcasing their product properly, because anybody who sends me product, I like to be able to do something substantial with it, and I don't want to just, like if the Army Painter sent me their speed paints, they haven't reached out or anything like that. I would want to do it properly and do something to showcase their product, right? And I definitely would do it more of a side-to-side, head-to-head matchup, especially against the Citadel, their competitors, right? And that's, to me, is a bit more compelling. And it seems like everybody who was doing videos for it didn't really do a head-to-head kind of comparison for it, right? And I feel like I mean, I'm sure afterwards, but when the stuff was initially coming out, nobody was really doing that. Nobody really talked about what I was hearing about afterwards. And it feels like if anybody was actually doing any proper comparatives with the product, putting it through their paces, so to speak, some tests, it seems like the shortcomings would have come up during those times. And it doesn't seem like anybody was really reporting on that when it first came out. Everybody was just like, yeah, they sent me paints and I'm going to talk really great about it. And, you don't have to talk great about every product. You can give your honest opinions about stuff. And most of the time, I like to think that I talk pretty fairly about stuff. I mean, I'm also, one of the people, part of, creating hype as well, but that's all it is. It's just hype. And I mean, either you're on board for the hype or you're not. You can get on and get off this train whenever you like. And, that's entirely up to you. That's not on me. That's on you. Right. So, and again, the same thing with all these products, right? It's all part of the marketing. It's all part of this, making money. And when you realize that this is all a money-making endeavor, the more comfortable you are with, all these different reviews and stuff like that. Like it's just money. It's just businesses trying to make money. That's all it is. It's not like this is going to change your life. It's not like, anybody's got your back. It's not like, any company's out to get you or, whatever you want to attribute to them. No, they're all about making money. Full stop. That's it. They're not out to be your friends. They're not out to change the world. They're not out to, change society. They're not out to do anything like that. They are just about making money. Full stop. That's it. Biddy-doo, biddy bum bum bum. Huck hey. Oh, already read that one. Sophie. Meet my neighbors? Nope. No, I realize that in these times, especially for a lot of younger people who, are not accustomed to such behaviors, that can be kind of, challenging and overwhelming. I realize, but you'll be better off. Believe me, you'll be better off in the long run, having done it, having made that first awkward, initial, painful interaction with those people. Yes. And even if that interaction is horrible, you find out they're a complete fucking asshole or whatever, but at least then you don't have to speculate, because you could look at somebody from a distance and go, they seem really well put together. They seem, really nice, maybe they're attractive or whatever. And you think, oh, and then you actually have an interaction with them and you realize this fucking person's an idiot. They're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at he beats his kids, like whatever. Right. And then you don't have no interactions with them ever again. And you don't have to feel bad about not knowing them, because your interaction with them was like, well, they're a fucking asshole. And yeah, I don't ever want to have any other further future interactions with them. At least then, 100%, but until then, it's completely speculative, right? It's Schrodinger's fucking cat. Right? They are one or other, or they're both at the same time. You don't know. And so don't you really kind of want to know, or at least have a better understanding of the people who live in your immediate area? Like, don't you want to know? Because one day you are going to end up relying on somebody close to you like that, who is you have no familial ties with, right? There will come a day. Where the hell am I? Okay, hey, so nice to be out and so close to see David's shop packed full of flesh and blood players. Oh, oh wow, time gone, nearly 4 a.m. Haha. Oh, and you're streaming on YouTube as well. Yeah, I stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I also have the capacity now to live stream on Facebook, or not Facebook, Facebook and Instagram. But also TikTok. I can live stream on TikTok. I've only done one live stream on TikTok so far, but I've been meaning to do more. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok, because I'm planning on doing more live streams. But they're more kind of like whenever I get the chance kind of things. But also I can record them, and I will be posting those just for patrons. So if you watch me on TikTok or you're interested in, what I'm doing on TikTok, then yeah, you should follow. It's kind of the same shit I'm doing everywhere, but whatever. It has been made clear to me by my daughter. I rely on my kids to keep me up to date on stuff, and my daughter made me realize something, that a lot of the stuff that I do on Instagram, I could be doing more. And in fact, because there's people who engage with Instagram and don't engage with TikTok or Twitter or Facebook. That there's people who just do Instagram. They, like they watch the videos, they, photos and groups and, like everything like that. And then there's people who do just Facebooks, and there's people who do just Instagram and who do just Twitter. And I realized that, yeah, there's some people who do all of it, and then who only interact with just the one thing. And so I was like, well, yeah, okay, well, that's why now you might see more of the videos, like the shorts I do on YouTube, because what I do on YouTube for shorts, I also do on TikTok. And I'm probably going to start doing them on Instagram as well, because there's people like who just only interact with one social media, right? And it's unfortunate that Twitter doesn't really host videos, but then their services become way bogged down and anyway, it's the fucking world we live in. Dark Commission, I may have an email next week. Been working on a bust for 3 years. It was badly cast, needed lots of work, being on and off project. Not much left to do now. Will be my first since December 2021. Wow, really? Been a while since you painted anything. Fire Drake, just stopped at a Wendy's. Please continue to wait for me. What are you getting at the Wendy's? Baconator? You getting a Baconator? Or as I like to call it, the heart clogger. Scott Radom, I think if speed paints were really worth a shit, we would still be talking about them. I don't know if any painters who added them to the regular lineup of tools. I have no idea. Yeah, because like there was that initial wave of hype about the paints. Everybody was like, yeah, these things are better than contrast paints. Everybody was, Everybody was making that statement that they were better than contrast paints. And then it's like months later, and it's like, well, they have one flaw in them personally that I don't really like to use too often, unless, of course, I know how to deal with it. And it sounds like they have the same issue they do with Minotaur's ghost tints, where they'll reactivate. And for me, obviously the quick fix for that is you just seal and then put another layer down and you're fine. But a lot of people don't know to take that step. And once you know about that interaction with the paint, then it's not much of an issue, because I like ghost tints. They work great. You get great value out of them, but you do have to seal them because they will reactivate. I don't know if every color will, but I know like a lot of them, like the magenta and the yellow and the cyan, yeah, they all reactivate. I think it's due to the nature of basically, I think it's like an alcohol paint that they use. But anyway. Jabba's Left Nut. I'm straddling Kris's hype train all the way to the end. Toot toot. I was kind of reading that in a very effeminate kind of, like, my inner voice was reading that kind of in an effeminate kind of way. Right way to the end. Toot toot. Simply mini painting. There's some stuff not showing up on Way the Brush. Hashtag Way the Brush. Some stuff not showing up. Let me see here. Because I see 1869 posts. Let me refresh the page. And now the page is broke. Nope, I'm still seeing the same number. And yeah, some stuff not showing up on the Instagrams. I don't know. Again, when I bring the page up, because I'm on the web page, obviously. And yeah. No, I think we looked at that last week. You sure we didn't talk about it last week? Some of the stuff? I don't know. If you hear rumbling through the mic, it's because my in-laws, we're extending our patio. So we got more stones and we're laying a bunch of stones. So hopefully we end the show before the tamper comes down and we start getting loud thuds. Sophie, I'll have to move to Canada and be Kris's next door neighbor. He'll soon be saying, don't meet your neighbors. Yeah, well, You're free to come to Canada. Well, you're a UK citizen. I think it's pretty easy for people in the UK to emigrate to Canada, isn't it? Like, isn't there, because like it's like the ex-colony rule kind of thing. It's like something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, move to Canada, sure. Got lots of sun. If you're really pasty though, Sophie, yeah, you'll burn up. You'll burn right up, kid. Watch out, you'll burn right up. Okay, hey, yeah, it won't do TikTok. It's Chinese, but premium YouTube is cool and gets you more ad revenue, which I didn't realize. Yeah, I've been meaning to turn on memberships. I just haven't yet because I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'll just be honest. I'm not sure. Because I don't want it to be. I don't want it really to conflict with what I've got with Patreon. As far as like benefits and such. I'm not too worried about like price points or anything like that. I'm just more concerned with, the benefits of Patreon, supporting through Patreon. Because I'm always trying to encourage more support through Patreon. But it seems like it's really easy for people to support through, the preferred platform, right? Like there's people who are just YouTube and there's people who are just Twitch. I realize that. That's why I try to accommodate with, doing more Twitch stuff. But unfortunately, live streaming takes up so much time. It takes up a lot of time. It's easy to create content from, but it takes up a lot of the time. And, the way I've been doing with the shorts, I get up early in the day, take care of stuff, and then I can make, these short format videos and, been enjoying it. And it's been good for my channel. So that's why I continue to do it. But yeah, anyway. Scott Radom, speed paint fails for me. It just does everything worse than contrast. Also, if it's speed paint, why are you making me take another step and seal? Seems like it defeats the speed part of the product. True. Yeah, I mean, again, like anybody who was really kind of putting these paints through their paces really should have come across these glaring issues. And I don't know, like, now I didn't watch every content creator who was producing videos on speed paints. I really wasn't that, not that I wasn't concerned about it, but I wasn't that caught up in this product. I usually don't get caught up in paints, right? Like when there's a new paint coming out, I'm not like, oh, I got to get those paints and try them out and see what they're like. I'm not like that. I've reached that point past that I'm pretty sure I know enough about paints that I'm not that concerned. Like water-based acrylics, they all pretty much act the same way. Solvent-based paints all pretty much act the same way, right? So there's certain rules you got to follow for certain kinds of paints. Otherwise, everything is all pretty much the same, right? Like water-based acrylics, they're all pretty much the same, right? Depending on how much pigment and how much medium they use. And that's about it, right? So, yeah, I don't really get caught up in that stuff, and I don't get fired up for new paints. Like we were talking about Duncan's paints. I mean, if the opportunity arises that I can pick up a couple and try out, I will. But I'm not dying to get my hands on. I have to get them because they're just going to be the same hues as Citadel. Citadel Games Workshop pretty much sets the standard at which everybody else wants to imitate, right? Because nobody else is doing anything really different other than maybe companies like TurboDork. TurboDork is probably one of the few companies who's doing things something different. And that's why I will always talk about TurboDork in a positive manner because they're doing something different, right? There's a niche there. It's a very small niche, but they're doing something there. And I welcome that. And I think that's a really good thing. But otherwise, yeah, everybody's doing the same fucking thing. It's just, yeah, whatever. Okay. I mean, I realize that everybody wants to make $1, right? But, I mean, doing the exact same thing as the person next to you to make $1 and then saying, well, buy this product from me because mine is better than theirs when it's the same thing, like, that doesn't make any sense. But that's the reality of our world. And that's, and it's commonplace. And really, like, should ask yourself, like, why is that? Why is that the common practice? Why is that the thing that everybody does? Why is that? Everybody needs to stop and ask themselves why sometimes. Simply Made a Painting. I don't think it is you. I have one I put up and it's not showing up. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, bud. It's Instagram. And These are weird days. Also, Canada's in half a blackout, so I don't know. Like half the country doesn't have internet. They can't even call 911. Imagine that. Imagine how pissed off you would be in your country outside of Canada if you could not call 911. Imagine how broken that system is. That you can't even call an emergency service, which should be a service that is unbreakable. It's like an unbreakable contract between you and your government, right? And you can't even call 911 for basic service. Like, that is broken. That is a broken system, and that needs to be addressed. Dark Commission, now tucking into Balti. Hot, humid weather, so now sweating profusely. No pain, no gain. Oof. Okay, wish you didn't mention Ladyboys last week. Haha, now talking to Life of the Miss CC on YouTube. Wow, that's all I can say. I don't even know what that is. The Life of Miss CC. Oh, I'm sure we're going to look that up later, I suppose. Malev, Patreon is sort of like when... Malev. Hey, Malev. When people are like, yo, download this game. It's on EA's Origin only. When everyone wants to play games on Steam. Yeah, it's kind of like being on Steam, and then, you got to go to these other platforms because, you got to play this game yet. Yeah, I know this whole situation right now with YouTube and Twitch and Patreon and all these things. Yeah, you kind of end up just either spreading yourself out all over the place or confine yourself to one platform, and you know what I mean. But then you run the risk. Well, you want to have many avenues, right? I don't know. It is kind of one of those not all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. And when you're entirely on Patreon, it feels like that kind of thing, right? That you shouldn't entirely have all your eggs in one basket. And so, or going entirely YouTube or Twitch or, whatever, right? I get it, Malev. I get it. Jabba's Left Nut. We go to Canada quite easily because basically we still own you. You never read the small print. Yeah, probably. I mean, that chick's face is still on the money, so, that should be an indicator right there, right? Because if Canada is truly an independent country, shouldn't that chick's face be removed from the money, right? Simply Painting. America is already there. It's just better. It is better just to drive to the ER. Oof. Job yourself not. I can't call 911. That sucks. My life is over. Well, yeah. I mean, UK. I mean, do you guys call 911? Is that what? Because I mean, that's the emergency services here. Is 911. Typically, it's just 911. You just dial it on your phone. 911. No matter what, dial 911, and you get an operator, and they'll send either the fire, the police, or an ambulance, right? Or all of them at once. It all depends on what the emergency is. But anyway. Malev, yeah, I run to the same wheel, man. So many areas to be present and try and be seen. Yeah, and again, it can be you could feel stretched out, right? I'm sure you probably feel the same way. That you find that you just have to kind of keep putting yourself out there, and you feel yourself being stretched out all over the place, and you find that you are dedicating so much time to putting yourself out there that you're not putting enough time into your own work, and so it's a hard balance. It's a hard balance. This whole online content creator thing, it is a tough game. I've been at this since 2011. I've been putting myself out there on the internet since about 2008, but 2011 is when I started doing it for pay. And so I've been at this game for 11 years, 12 years, almost 12 years, going on 12 years. So, and it changes. The rules change all the time. Ghost of Starman and Sophie, it's 999 over here. Oh, okay, so it's 9. Okay, so 999, right? But how do you not butt dial that all the time? How do you not butt dial that? Because at least 911 is 911. You got to, what I mean? That's a sequence. Whereas 999, I mean, what if you have Parkinson's, and the number starts with a 9, and you just go 9999? You know what I mean? Or is that a bad joke? Am I making a bad joke? It's probably a bad joke. I'm probably making it's probably a crass, and everybody's like, hey, fuck you, man. I got Parkinson's. I'll get Michael J. Fox on my ass again. Not that he reached out or anything like that, no. Anyway. Oh, yeah, we got more emails. I'm sitting there getting comfy. I was like, oh, all right, we got more emails. Holy shit, we're 6 minutes OT. Jeez, I gotta hurry up. Let's get these emails done. This one is from our good buddy FireJack18. Hello, Kris and monkeys. Just another update on my Marvel Crisis Protocol project. I'm calling Doctor Strange complete. I added some edge highlights and cleaned up some areas. I'll probably come back to it when I get my hands on some of those sweet, sweet inks. Next, I started working on the Punisher. I tried a more realistic approach and a little different from the normal paint scheme. Any other ideas and critiques are always welcome. Thanks for your time, FireDrake18, aka Papa No Pants. Jesus, Papa No Pants. Good God, man. Good God. Anyway, there we go. So this is the Punisher. Ooh, I like the transitions on the highlights of the cloth. You're going for something more realistic, he says. So what did you do? Zenithal? Is that what you did? Is that what you're going for? How come he's all red on his chest? Shouldn't there be like a white skull there? And why does he look like he's like got back pain or something? He's got scoliosis. It looks like Berthol. Is that who it is? It's supposed to be Berthol? The guy who plays Punisher? I dig it. I like it. I like the color. I like the texture in the jeans too. Like that. Like the variation in color and tone. Yeah, I'm going to guess you were doing Zenithal. Is that why you considered a bit more of a realistic approach? Is that why? Doctor Strange, we saw him last week. Very, very nice. Yeah, for his discs, I would go brighter. I'd go a little bit brighter. Almost to a white. Especially on like the in the text. And then, yeah. I mean, there's many ways to go about that. But yeah. It's a good sculpt though. That looks like him. That guy. You know the guy. The guy who plays Doctor Strange. That actor. He's real famous. Everybody knows who he is. The guy. Benedict. That's his name. Benedict Cumberbatch. Hell of a name. It's a hell of a name. Where the hell am I? Dark Commission. In the old days, 9 was at the far end of the phone dial and so harder for kids and dogs to ring by accident. Ah, yes, that's right. The old rotary phones, yes. That makes sense. So that's been the emergency since rotary times. Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. 999. Whereas on this side, because there's more chaos here, so it's 911. You got to do it faster. Sophie, that's what screen locks are for. LOL. Listen to me and my knowing of use of technology. Oh, I'm so clever. I know how my cell phone works. Anyway, fuck them kids. Fuck the geezers and fuck the kids. Your job's enough nut. Putting yourself out there for 12 years. I imagine you're well stretched out. It must be like kicking a can up an alley. Yeah, it's like rolling a hot dog down a hallway. Yeah. So, like, here's how it sounds like when I fart. Okay, hey, good night, Kris, and have a great week. Need some sweet dreams. Well, later, duder. It's late for you, man. Jeez Louise. Malev, Benebadge, Cumberdick. Benebitch, Cumberdick. Man, that fucked me right up. Benebadge. Cumberdick. Dark Commission. Cumberbach. Greg Benedict. Oh wait, what you said? Benadryl. Cucumbers. Benadryl and cucumbers. Oof. Speaking of worn out holes, that's what that sounds like. Or no, wait. All right. This email's from our good buddy Scott. It's his Death Guard character work in progress. Man, I got main bull of this dude done. Main bull? Main bull? But I forgot to prime the bits I left off, so he will have to sit like this for a day or so. Topic for thought. This dude is NMM, my attempts at old copper. The army rank and file are all true metals. What do you think about that? I wanted to keep on painting the characters in this way. I've been practicing for a couple of years, but is it a bad idea to mix the methods on an army project? Is it like crossing the streams? I don't want to melt space and time and reverse all existence. Here is my work in progress. Hit me. Mixing techniques as far as like the finishes, so like true metallics versus non-metallics, versus a combination, and trying to maintain a uniform look across the army, I think it's fine because it's characters, right? The characters, you expect a little bit more time to be done on character pieces. So doing non-metallic metal, I think as long as the non-metallic metal, as far as like value is concerned, it has a similar value under, uniform lighting kind of conditions, like at your hobby place or on your shelf, whatever. And it doesn't take you out of the viewing and it doesn't look like he's out of place. Then yeah, I think it's fine. Right. But like if you're non-metallic metal, like if you're going say for golds, on the other models, and then you paint, the character in different metals and go for a non-metallic metal on that, then it might feel a bit out of place. But then again, I mean, it's a character, so like characters can look different. Honestly, it makes no difference to me because I mean, like, I think I've done like non-metallic metal and true metallics on the same model. So, do whatever makes sense to you, really. I mean, whatever you like. I don't think there's any rules, against, mixing techniques, even for an army. I think if you're the kind of person that, you feel like that needs to be consistent, then, obviously stay consistent. But I don't think so. Non-metallic metal, the copper, looks really good here. I like the weathering. Yeah, this is more like what we normally see from Scott. Great texture. Nice placement of highlights. I really like on the back of the left calf. I really like how that, like, you got it looks almost like the highlighting in the armor, but then you have that chipping and you have all that weathering. I really like that. Oh, is that it? Oh. Oh. Yeah, and as far as like a non-metallic metal, I mean, like, the doodads that dangle from the shoulders, those circular things, those feel very convincing as far as non-metallic metal goes. The trim and stuff, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same gravity. If you know what I mean. I'm not even sure if I know what I mean. I think what it is it's the placement of highlight and where the light gathers. Because like the leg on the right hand side of the screen, I feel like that does not gather as much light because the body is over it, right? So light really wouldn't gather, but you would get that underlight, that bounced light. And same with like the inside of the inside of the legs on that trim, you would have that bounced light, and that would illuminate those edges. And so illuminating edges like the lights are from above, I don't think really work, especially on portions of the model that would be completely in shadow. I think you would have to concentrate on the underlighting, the bounced light. But anyway, Scott, that looks fantastic. I look forward to seeing more as you work your way through that model. Does that make sense though? Like as far as like what I'm talking about there, like how like because like that leg, right? Because his stance looks like his feet are shifted. And so that leg that is shifted back as he's standing, the light coming down of direct light sourcing wouldn't catch those edges, and so they would not be illuminated like that. But the bounced reflected light from the environment would bounce up onto that shadowy metal. And so that gives you an opportunity to explore non-metallic metal more because you're painting that refracted light bouncing around, right? So the no no fuck, it's like a reflected light. It's the bounce. It's the way the light bounces off objects and bounces on a shinier surface. But like the doodads on the chest area, that looks great. That at first I thought those objects were shiny, but I realized that they were non-metallic metal. Fantastic. And the trim, going for that copper, especially when you're going for more of like a beaten kind of copper look or corroded copper, you pretty much end up throwing a lot of non-metallic metal ideas out anyway, because you're painting just straight texture at that point, right? Yeah. If that makes sense. Where the hell am I? In the thing. Ghost of Starman. Yeah, the Praetor is banging. Banging? Malev. Holy smokes, that model is amazing. I never realized how much detail was being hidden by that massive axe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Praetor? Yeah. Dark Commission. Looks like an old school deep sea diving done steampunk. Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what Space Marines are, though. They are like that big that big hulking suit of, pressure gear to go out in space, right? And so that's what everybody's imagining for Terminator suits, is that it's that big diver bell suit. It's a similar idea. Yeah. I'm sure that was the inspiration for the ideas. Fire Drake. Just getting some gas. Home soon. Shut up. Scott, I still struggle with where to put lights in non-metallic metal. The circle parts on the chest were a little easier to visualize. Yeah, well, I'd imagine, and that's why those details looked so good, is because, it was something that you were probably very comfortable with, versus the way you're painting the trim on both legs, even though their positions are different, and the way the light would bounce, right? Because like when you're imagining the flat surface, right, typically the shorthand is the color gets deeper up here and brighter down here, and then you just edge it, right? That's the shorthand of non-metallic. Versus going for a very realistic, glossier, shinier metal, there actually would be that horizon line running through. And so actually the color would get darker up here, but then transition lighter, get to your horizon line, which would be deeper color, and then fade out, getting brighter down below, and then you can put that edge around it, right? That's really that's typically what gets called sky earth non-metallic. But when you're truly creating a really shiny surface, you're always going to get that horizon line. That's why you always end up with those dark spots on a reflected surface, right? Because it's that horizon that's getting reflected in there. Typically because the horizon is where obviously a lot of color, and depending on the environment, can be very close to that object. And so you end up with that horizon line in there, because that's part of the reflected surface that's closest to the object. The other thing is, when you are going for more of a corroded look, well, if the metal is corroded, but you want it to look like metal and it's corroded, it ends up looking just very opaque, and you end up just creating a texture. You just end up painting texture, and how that texture interacts with the light. And so you're ending up kind of, I think, confusing yourself when you're trying to think of a corroded metal, but you're trying to paint it shiny, and it's not, right? Like, just look at any like real world examples. Like, for example, a very oxidized brass candlestick. A very oxidized brass candlestick. Look up a picture of what that looks like. It does not look shiny because it's very oxidized, right? Oxidization makes everything look flat, and all you see is texture and how ambient light plays on that surface. And that can be any surface. That could be Play-Doh. That could be clay. It could be marble. It could be, organic. It could be inorganic. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter, because it's all the color of that surface and how it interacts with the light. Versus if it was painted like non-metallic metal, it was like a proper metallic surface. So when we're really talking about non-metallic metal, we're talking about uncorrupted, essentially, metallic surface, right? Now, yes, you can oxidize it, chip it, and create scratches and blah, blah, blah. It's all, variation on these themes, but I mean, that's where you get to be creative. But again, I think like a lot of times with non-metallic metal, oftentimes when you're getting really into non-metallic metal, you have to paint that bounced light. The way that surface, the ambient light is reflected on that surface. And so like that leg that's coming back on the Praetor, it should be that bounced light that is illuminating that surface. And so that's actually where you get to have a bit of fun, because now you start playing with that theory. You can incorporate that into the rest, and that's where you're going to get really good non-metallic metal. And that's where a lot of the really great people who are doing non-metallic metal very well, that's what they're doing. They're creating that reflected light, because it's very, very subtle, right? That's where you see, like if they're doing a face, right? Like say, how my face is looking right now, you can see how shadow is falling. You can see this light sourcing, but you can also see some other light that's bouncing off from other objects, and you can see how it plays on a surface, and it often is bounced upwards. That soft light is bounced upwards on objects. So yeah. Again, painting, all painting is painting light, how light interacts with the surface, how we perceive how light interacts with the surface. That's all art is. That's all painting is. Not art, but painting. And we're painting what we see. Typically, when we're going for realism, it's what we see. And so if you're not observing things, you're going to struggle to see the object. So you have to kind of observe these things and how light interacts with these objects and how our eye perceives it. But all painting is just painting light. So when people are talking about how, we want to know how paint light on a surface, you just have to observe it, because all painting is painting how light interacts with the surface, because that's how we see. We see how light interacts with surfaces. That's it. Where the hell am I? Scott. Thanks, guys. Makes sense, Kris. Still much to learn. Yeah, well, I mean, myself too. I mean, like, I know a lot of the theory behind a lot of things, but very rarely do I ever get to really kind of get into the weeds about, employing the techniques and stuff, right? Like, non-metallic metal, I can talk all day long, but I mean, like, as far as, like, employing the techniques on surfaces, I really have not done it on much. And mainly because oftentimes it really doesn't interest me, and it oftentimes I don't paint to a very high degree on a surface. I'm like painting for hundreds of hours on a figure. Like that kind of stuff, even just saying it out loud, like does not interest me. It does not excite me at all, Dark Commission. I'm yet to tackle non-metallic metal. Not sure as I will. I do like our real metal better though. If you had scale mail and similar, would every piece have its own reflection, or would the whole thing have one overall reflection? It all depends. It all depends on how much surface you have and how you wanted to interpret the chainmail. Is the chainmail really made of a shiny metal? Is it worn and been weathered? And you know what I mean? Because worn and weathered would become very matte and would just look like tones of gray. Versus, if it was made of shiny, then you would want to paint those little reflected sources of light and reflections on the metal, right? Again, it's entirely up to you as far as how far you want to take things. What are you trying to say through your painting, right? Job is left nut. On your face, all I can see is that gray in your mustache, you old Giza. Is your gray? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm getting more and more gray in my facial hair. My head hair, not so much. Face hair, yeah. Like even in my chin. So you can see there's a whole bunch of gray hairs in my chin. For whatever reason, my facial hair is going gray. My head hair, not so much. It's kind of weird. Sophie, non-metallic metal sounds very complicated to do. It sounds very complicated. Again, when non-metallic metal is kind of a broad category, and really you can divide it into two. There's realistic non-metallic metal, and then there's stylized non-metallic metal. And stylized non-metallic metal is more like what you see on illustrations and album art. You think of like a rock band or a metal band, the way the logo is done, like Metallica, the way the font looks and how it has that kind of impression of, or even old, like the old 40K logo. is a good example of stylized, illustrated, non-metallic metal. Okay, Warhammer 40,000 logo back in the day. Let's go to images, and I'll show you guys. Where's the old 40K logo? There it is. Okay, so, for example, the Warhammer 40,000, this is the Rogue Trader era. It's in the upper right. That is a non-metallic metal. That's a stylized non-metallic metal. That's typically what everybody equates to looking realistic on a miniature. That's what I see most of the time. Oh, even the second edition one, yeah, is a good example of it too. Yeah, this is even better. This is more of a Sky Earth non-metallic metal, because you can see that horizon line through the letters. You see that where it gets dark in the letters? That's the horizon line. But this is all stylized approach to painting metal on a surface. This is what everybody loses their shit about. It's really not that difficult. It's just if you can create transitions. If you can create smooth transitions, you can do this. But if you can create smooth transitions, you can pretty much do anything. So, again, it's really mastering creating smooth gradients on a surface. That's really where you want to, put a lot of your effort in your painting. It's creating smooth transitions. As smooth as you can, There's a lot of painters out there who have really gotten a great handle on it, but it's taken tons and tons and thousands of hours of practice. Thousands of hours of practice to get good, smooth gradients down. But there's not just one way to do it. There's many ways to go about it. Feathering, layering, or glazing. Glazing is essentially just layering. Wet blending. What kind of wet blending? Two-brush wet blend, wet on wet blend, right? So there's many ways to go about it. Fire Drake. I'm going to make it. I'm going to end the show as soon as he gets in the door. Ghost of Starman. Odds on Fire Drake beating the land speed record, trying to make it home before the show ends. Yeah, I can imagine it now. He's just flying down the road. I'm imagining some crazy lunatic in his pickup truck flying down some dirty, dusty road. The dirt's just kicking up, and he's got like a pig and some watermelons in the back, and he's got like a pitchfork, and he's wearing overalls as well. I'm imagining a guy in a straw hat, overalls, no shirt, flying down the road. Yeah. Fire Drake. I made it. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for we are the champions. And on that note, if you're brand new to this hobby, want some help with the color scheme, maybe there's a particular technique that's tripping you up. Whatever it is, feel free to ask your questions. This is a place where I am more than happy to answer any and all questions, and I've answered many of them many times before, and I'll answer them many more times in the future, I'm sure. Send your emails to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites, because it's ads and stuff like that. So just don't do it. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. There's only one rule on the Discord. Don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Don't be a dick. And we'll have a good time. And that's kind of like what we do here. We have a good time. We talk painting. We talk about other stuff as well. We talk about anything and everything. And that's what it's all about. We're just sharing our common experiences and trying to gain a little bit more insight into other aspects of reality as we understand it. And that's life. That's all we can do is life. And so really, Way of the Brush is about life. I was trying to think of the Fifth Element quote, the Monochiwan. Time is not important. Only life is important. That's it. That's what's important. Time is not important. Only life is important. Anyway, wayofthebrush.com. Discord. Join us on the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep conversation rolling there. Also, find links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good in holiness world? They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at waythebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support and all of you brand new ones as well. And a huge thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, appeasing the algorithm gods, that all helps as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button and you're helping me out a great deal. And so a huge thank you to everybody who does that as well. Big thank you to Carl, Guymere Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl. It's his YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles to play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my beefcake brother for creating intro, outro music that plays the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby bro, Evan. And if you're into rare comics, rare EB Comics, it's in the description below. And if you're into beefcakes, you can feel free to follow him on Instagram as well. He's beefy. He's like just like all muscles. He's big. He's a big dude. He's bigger than me, like in height, and he's also in stature as well. He makes me look like Mr. Burns next to, I don't know, anybody else who's not Mr. Burns, I guess. Even then, I'm not even no Mr. Burns because I'm not like super skinny and frail. Well, I mean, I'm not super skinny. I might be frail. I could be frail. I might be frail. I'm probably frail. Yeah, I'm frail. Fire Jake, Fifth Element drop. Nice. Yeah. Jabba. Yes, you answered many questions today. You're very gray. Your ass can fit a Coke can in it. You abuse the young and old. We learned a lot. Thanks. Well, I'm an equal opportunity kind of abuser. So, you know, I don't see color. I don't see age. I don't see sex. You know, I'm an equal opportunity abuser. I'm willing to abuse anybody, given the right circumstance. So, yeah, that's awful. that's awful. That's awful. I don't know what else to say. That's just me being an awful human being. This show is basically, if you've never watched this show before, this show is basically 2 hours of me being an awful human being. Ghost of Starman. Damn, I don't see sex either. Well, you're young. You'll get over it. You're a young man. You're a young man. You have plenty of time to make plenty of mistakes in that arena. Don't be in a rush. I've got nothing because I've got nothing. Anyway. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next time. Next time? Yeah, next time. When? Don't know. But next time. Maybe. Yeah, probably.